Hello, hello. Going to change this back to this one, right? Okay, cool. Hello. How are you guys doing? What is up, everybody? It's been a minute. I feel like I didn't stream that long ago, but I also feel like I streamed long ago in the far away past, in a time far, far away. Something like that. I don't remember. Yeah, how you guys doing? I know 3.8 is is a bit of a, not just a filler patch. It is a very long filler patch. So I'm not sure how many people are really gonna be hopping on to see what predictions are there, because it is not gonna lie, it is a bit of a, we are kind of just rewinding to just buy time to see what happens with who's this? Sure, why not? If anyone wants to be my friend and use my characters, you're always free to. Yeah. No other words than that, but that's basically it. But yeah, back in. You guys have any plans coming in for Christmas time? For those of you who celebrate around the world, or your own cultural, personal holidays. I'm personally gonna be going back home to. I actually am from the Bay Area in San Francisco, so I'll be going back there. But yeah, other than that, I'm just stupid busy with work, dog. I am insanely busy. I have a big day tomorrow, but I needed to like get away and do something different, so that's why we're doing this. Also, I got a new keyboard, so I'm trying to figure out everything here. That's precisely how I'm sure the devs would sneak it in the details people wouldn't quite notice. You know, that is true. I remember Genshin used to do, it was like a big thing during the 0.8 patches in Genshin, where they would do these summer events, and then that would always sneak something crazy coming into like the next region. I remember it was like, I'm not sure if they did that for Nodcry, because I know that's the most recent region. I honestly only really know that because I know the music. I really like the music of Nodcry. They still do. All right, cool. But yeah, I love the music of Nodcry. Actually, fun thing. I'm not like sponsored, or there's not like a promotion or anything. I'm getting introduced to a new keyboard. Hold on. If any of you are in the Los Angeles area, there is a Genshin Impact quote unquote concert going on here that's being held by the San Gabriel Concert Hall or something like that. I think so. Is it in Lantern something? Yeah, it's like the San Gabriel Lantern, like Chinese New Year's like festival thing. And yeah, if anyone of you in LA, that's something that's really sick. Why Nodcry is peak Flint's. I know a lot of people really have been loving Nodcry. So, but you know, that's all great. I haven't touched it, mostly because, to be honest, I don't think I could cover another gacha game as of right now. I mean, that might change if I ever get to the point where I'm full time, but like you'll know if that happens. But yeah. Let's start with this. 3.8 story predictions. Let's go. Let's get started. Anyone have anything right now? 3.8 coming in. They fixed a lot of problems with pacing. Not all, but as people have been loving Nodcry simply because the previous nation was Natlan. Yeah, I don't know why. I remember I stopped playing in Natlan, to be honest, and it kind of felt like they were going like backwards in their audience for Genshin. I remember it kind of felt very not cringe. I'm not gonna say completely cringy, but it felt very old school shonen anime. You know, it's like we always joke about like the power of friendship. No, it really did feel like, I think they actually did say power of friendship at one point, and I remember thinking, yeah. Nothing wrong with that, but it was like, okay. I think this is going to a little bit younger of an audience now. They even said it, didn't they? I think they said it in like Dahlia said it in some sort of interview, I believe, that Genshin is made for a younger audience, and then Star Rail is made for an older audience, and then ZZZ is made for the gooning audience, which is they did their job. That's all I'm gonna say. Ooh, the Dahlia is a Stellaron hunter. That's an interesting theory. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think honestly, the Stellaron hunters need more. The Stellaron hunters, I think, need more people. If we're getting more people in the if we're getting more people in the Astral Express, I feel like the Stellaron hunters should also get more people too. Maybe 1-to-1 or something like that. But
and follow the way of the permanence.
Hold on, let me. I'm like slightly playing Currency Wars right now. Not a theory, but would Trailblazers Premium Mobile? What would be Premium Mobile? Oh yeah, that's right. Shit. Oh god, what was that? Remind me what the Prime Mobile is. I might need to look it up. It's been a minute. They don't have the Welt of Stellaron Hunters yet. That's true. I feel like the Welt of Stellaron Hunters would just be Elio. Actually, no, that would be the Trailblazer, right? Or would that... Kafka is like the equivalent to... is Lament. Oh, yeah. I think there's... What was everyone's Prime Mobile? It was, Lament for Cyrene. There's a few. Hello! Hi! Welcome. You're gonna see how much I suck at this game. I haven't figured out a currency war. Anoxa's Reason. Amphorius. Mobiles. To be honest, I'm kind of coming into this stream. Usually I do a little bit of research beforehand. I've been so... As a refresher to things that's going on, I've been so busy with work that I'm kind of coming in trying to remember everything as I go on. To be honest with you, part of the reason why is I've been working on this video. A little sneak peek for you guys. I'm super behind on it. It was supposed to release like a day ago, but I'm working on this script. It's a complete story analysis of Amphorius. Like story as in like not just like a story analysis like a recap, but like an actual analysis on the storytelling methodology and storytelling concepts that they use, because I think it's fascinating. I think they did a really good job because it's very much a blend of a various amounts of different types of plot structures. For anyone who's a theater major or an English major, you might be familiar with some of this. Obviously, there is the hero's journey, but I think that's just a smaller aspect to this. What did I write? I believe it was a fictitious one. Let's see. Kafka, Himiko, Elio, Pom Pom. Elio as Pom Pom would be hilarious. Firefly Trailblazer, Blade, Dan Hung. Who's March? I thought Firefly would be March. I feel like that would make sense, right? Was that just me? Let's see. Where did I write? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Fictian Curve is how it's presented. Yeah, I that's kind of what I think of the Amphorius story as is a Fictian Curve. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the concept of storytelling where you take from one part and it rises the action, falls back down and rises the action, and each rise of the action is a individual story plot. Very interesting concept, but I'll get to that when on my actual video. Anyways, yeah. 3.7 ending. If we take the flowery language out is just a science question. How can a 3D creature manipulate a 2D world? We can't enter 2D world. but here we can because of Remembrance. That's actually, see, that's one of the things that I wanted to cover in this, is because they actually ask a lot of famous philosophical questions in Amphorius. Exactly as you said. You know, one of the big ones is that, theoretically speaking, let's start this. Theoretically speaking, right? Just concept-wise, just really think about it. What is the difference between what Lygus does, theoretically, right? What is the difference between what Lygus does and what we do when we play like a simulated video game? GTA, Sims. Like, I mean, for the people who played Sims, how many of you let your characters die? You know? Really think about it. I should move this a little bit. How many of you let your characters die? And how many of you just like kind of played around with, oh, what can I do with this? What can I do with that? Right? It really asks those questions. Obviously, fucking the Allegory of the Cave. They even named their album after the Allegory of the Cave, which is crazy. But yeah, no. Star Rail really did a really good job with the Amphorius storyline. What I think they didn't do good was the execution of said storyline. It was almost as if they were given a gold plated story. Like, this is the secret, right? And this is it. This is gonna be the thing. And they kind of honestly kind of dropped it a little bit to a certain extent. Not terribly. Like, I still enjoyed Amphorius thoroughly. I really did. But they had a bunch of amazing philosophical concepts, which really does match the Greek world. 3.8 is about to make me quit HSR. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a lot of people, this might be like the someone like, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't like the Flame Chasers in Honkai Impact 3rd the thing that caused a lot of people to drop off Honkai Impact or HI3? Like, I heard that it was such a convoluted storyline, and it caused a lot of people to drop off of it. The square to the cube, yeah, would be a 3D to World 2. The opposite is far from true. They dropped all the Greek inspos after Aglaiotrope. I don't think they did. Are you talking about like character-wise, or are you talking about like concept-wise? ER was convoluted? Are you I'm missing an app. Visual design mostly. Oh yeah, no, visual design definitely. Finon, I guess, was fine. Finon was there. After that, the visual character design was definitely... Oh, which one am I doing? We're gonna do 3-star Peppy, sure. I don't know what this does, but we're gonna run it. There. Oh, about HI3? Yo, I didn't know. I don't know exactly the full details about that, but yeah, I feel like a lot of it kind of dropped. I feel like it's just gonna be a similar thing that happens in for Genshin to a certain extent, where like a lot of people dropped off dropped off after Fontaine, and then there's gonna be like a lull. Like 4.0 is gonna be a lull. There are gonna be some people who stick around and be like, oh, this is a really interesting story, and then it's gonna come into 5.0, and then people are gonna come back. That's kind of like my personal this is my personal prediction that a lot of people are gonna drop off because of the Japan-China relations, and then they're gonna end up coming back afterwards. Oh yeah, we should probably do this. Let's do this right here. Story predictions for 3.8. I'm actually excited. I'm excited for Planarcadia too. Actually, I'm very excited for Planarcadia. I can tell they kind of had to play around with it. I am very excited because I think the Masked Fools are fascinating. I really like the Masked Fools. I'm not sure how much the Sakura is gonna look like her comparison though, if I'm gonna be honest with you. After all the changes, but we'll see. But no, I think it's gonna be very interesting to see. Firefly dies again. Firefly, okay, so the thing is, Firefly is supposed to already die. We already know that. That's not a prediction. That's the thing. That's a truth already. As a lot lore guy, how do you feel about the history fictionologist? Honestly, oh my god, I want to know so much more about the history fictionologist, because they're supposed to be the some of them are supposed to be emanators of Enigmata. We honestly got for Evernight being a follower of Enigmata, we got very little about the Enigmata. For all of the actual story plot points that had the Enigmata in there, including Gallagher and now Evernight, we actually got very little about the Enigmata. We have no idea what the Enigmata is about. But do you know there's a side quest about Arcadia and Amphorius? I didn't know that. Arcadia, the thing is, Arcadia is a Greek myth. Arcadia mythology. Arcadia is like an area of Greek myth. It's a wilderness area controlled by Peloponnese. So originally I thought they're gonna continue with the Greek thing, but I think they're actually meaning planet Arcadia, which is kind of funny. Well, I guess obviously, right? Hint. They have to do this. Sorry, I'm using a new keyboard, so I'm trying to figure this out. Hint to plan Arcadia. I don't think that's a crazy thought, to be honest, but the hint to plan Arcadia, I think is tried and true. I guess it's enigmatic. That's very true. Is Mythos a pink hair queen too? We don't know that. I don't think so. We do know that they rose from the Garden of Recollection, the Eden of Blessed Insight specifically. Considering what we know about how emanators and even eons can rise and fall, they may not even be at the time, a living being, but like something that pushes through a certain concept of just erasing memories. From what it seems like, I'm very interested in learning more about the Cremators. HSR. Because it's weird to me how much the Cremators are like... It's kind of weird because I feel like Cremators are almost so close to being Enigmata that it's kind of weird. Many individuals obsess over the glory of the past and aspire to become memo keepers, longing to live within their memories. Such individuals often degenerate into unbridled cremators, distorting memories to suit their preferences. There's a faction of rogue memo keepers and ex-memo keepers of the Garden of Recollection. Is there anything specific? Worthless memories of dissolved tears. Whereas memories are sought and kept, it hides a group of extreme memo keepers who view the mark of existence differently. Instead of treasuring all that has taken place like their colleagues, they believe that there are different qualities and priorities of memories in the world. See, this is a weird thing, is that we know that Dahlia is able to like erase and restructure memories, which is the realm of Enigmata. That it makes more sense for Dahlia to be Enigmata. There was no indication, at least from the trailer, of her tier listing memories per se, right? There's nothing in her that says like, oh, this memory is more important or more impactful than the rest. It's more so that she just messed with, if you saw the Keeping Up with Star Rail, she just messed with Albert's like memories. I think the child that will become fully will be from the Xianzhou. What? Wait, where are you getting that from? Wait, no, I want to know where you got that from. Wait, hold on. Am I missing something here? Fooley's implications are just so insane. Like, dude, how many times did you reset the universe? Did you think that March will set the universe? That's actually a good question. Like, we don't know how many. It makes a lot of sense now why Amphorius. I've noticed since the beginning. I remember making like part of it. The theory was that Amphorius' whole concept of Era Nova mirrors Foley's aspect of destroying the universe and remaking it new. And it kind of makes sense now based off of that, because we now have confirmation that Cyrene is essentially going to be the Foley of Amphorius, which is literally the same exact thing. Looks like a Chinese emperor. Oh, shit. Yeah. No, you're right. That's actually a good point. Foley does look like a Chinese emperor. And I remember it throwing me off because I think when 3.7 first happened, I was still a bit confused. I don't think this cutscene was done very well because I know it was implying that Cyrene was like becoming the Foley of the Amphorius. But then they did the cutscene of Foley being replaced by Cyrene. And that threw me off so much. And I think that threw so many people off that they were like, did she just become Foley? Did we misunderstand something? I mean, like, it's totally understandable. Like, I would, that threw me off so much, too. But yeah, no, you have a really good point that Foley does look like a Chinese emperor. Mingguo and all. Like, that's right there. It is a bit interesting. Well, it's confirmed that Foley is guaranteed to be, well, Foley's human form is guaranteed to be a woman. It's a pink-haired woman. That's as far as we know. And in the child of Anasrava's, it's weird because the pure children of Anasrava. This is the thing that bothers me about this whole entire thing. I know it's supposed to be some timey-wimey bullshit, but if we go back to God, what's the fucking trailer? Evernight trailer. Is it this one? It's this one. We know for a fact. Well, it's this might be now representation rather than actual thing. Is that fully shattered?
You were born from that shattered aluminum flux.
Shattered.
When you were buried along with
And
the remembrance.
there comes the pure children of Anasrava. But the idea is the pure children of Anasrava are just pink-haired lit girls that have natural powers over Remembrance. And there's no explanation from the story as to why, which is fine. It seems like this is something they're planning to go into in the future, but it is a little weird that they didn't mention anything about it. It causes its own paradox, which is, I guess, fitting to be honest with the whole Amphorius thing. Hold on. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be smart about this. For now. Hold on. Let me be smart about this. I thought this music would be low enough, but it's not. It's bothering my thought process. They didn't call Foley Sky Father. Oryx called Foley. Or did I just miss a thing? BH's video about Constance being a Stellar Hunter is fucking with me now. I haven't seen it. I've been so behind on the theory stuff, dude. I need to catch up on it. If Foley is supposed to exist at the end of time, the child's come back. Fully, it means that he must have resetted the universe in the past too. Yes. So that's kind of like the weird point, is that this may be, in essence, Foley may be the oldest Aeon because they are the Aeon at the beginning and end of time. At the same time, they're also the Aeon that is like hasn't been born yet. They are, in essence, like just a living paradox, which I guess works if you're a god. So, you know. Oh shit, my bad. What the hell? There we go. Dude, Currency Wars is like my go-to game when I'm watching something on TV and just not half paying attention. It's a little addicting. I'm not gonna lie. If Foley is supposed to exist at the end of time and the child came from before. Oh yeah, wait, I just read that. Curious about where Terminus is. Well, the concept, I kind of believe that Terminus is just the trailblaze that went backwards. I understand I was iffy about that theory, but as the stories went on, I feel like they're more and more pushing the idea that, like, because they keep saying that, oh, I'm going to reach the end. The end is Terminus. That's literally what the end means, is the terminal. So, like, I could totally see how the ending is, like, that is supposed to be it. Oh, wait, what? The Constant trailer is out? Perfect timing. Would you look at that? I perfectly planned this. Totally. Wow. I totally planned that. All right, let's go watch it. Live reaction from the jorjor.exp studio. Let's do it. I am the best who ever do. The final note. All right, let's see. What's this about?
Constance, my most ambitious child. My most exceptional child.
I feel like
There's nothing more to teach you.
I feel like the art got really good.
Found you. Tears won't hide your desire for revenge.
Oh, they hate each other.
Everything goes planned. I need you to stay within my control. Darling.
Oh. Wait, you're right. Turn on captions. I will turn on captions. You're right. I am missing stuff. Hold on. God. I love the relationship between Constance and Black Swan.
Found you.
There we go.
Tears won't hide your desire for revenge.
I feel like the graphics got better.
I need you to stay within my control.
Ooh. Ooh.
At a funeral, silence is preferred.
Oh,
Besides, I'm not used to you being so.
Oh my god.
I'll try to be more gentle.
How this game knows what it's doing.
Ran out of tricks? Compared to being a good follower, I'm better as a lead.
I swear to God, Star Rail.
Watch yourself. Don't miss the beat.
Relax, darling. I'm very good at taking the initiative.
They know their audience, all right.
Tell me.
Oh
in
my
Memory
god.
Storms, who is the lead dancer?
Not you, it seems.
Well, that's surprising. Then. Dance one more time with me.
Back to the beginning again.
I can't even pay attention.
Let's.
Farewell, my father.
Oh my god. Let's Oh my god. I swear to God, Star Rail. I swear to God. I will say though, that animation is legitimately really good.
Exceptional child. There is nothing.
Yes, Yuri, you have been summoned, Hersher of Yuri.
Found you.
Like, it is...
Tears won't hide your desire for revenge.
Okay, what is with Black Swan and them putting them in every Yuri bait trailer? Like, at this point, she's just gonna be the go-to person. Also, I feel like I would love to see. I know this is kind of the trailer that already shows it. I would love to see in game a like boss fight of Dahlia or like Black Swan against each other. I feel like that'd be so fun. If evil, why hot? If hot, that is why they're evil. Okay, you know what? That was kind of fucked up. I shouldn't have said that. Evil is hot. That was not the right. That was not the right. That was. I got it. You know what? We're gonna move on. We are moving on. So it is kind. I do wonder. There's one thing that is kind of a bit weird about Black Swan compared to other Remembrance characters. Now you'll get the black screen instead. Thanks. Is that she doesn't, as far as I know, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe someone could tell me something. She doesn't represent any of the they are very bitter exes. Ooh, they are so bitter. Oh, they hate each other. And I definitely feel like the vibe is Dahlia cheated on Black Swan. That feels like the vibe. That's my current theory. We're gonna write it down on the wrong one. Wrong one. Where is my predictions guide? What the hell? Where is my predictions? Predictions. We're gonna write it here because I actually do think this is what happened. Dahlia betrayed Black Swan. Cheated on. It does really feel like that. If I feel like it comes off that way from all their interactions. Brekka is not a cremator. He said he's a memo keeper. Check. Holy pure child. What? Or what? Is that a weird dream I had? I think it's a weird dream. I'm very sure it's a weird dream. Caught in an affair with the destruction. That probably makes sense. I do want to know more about how Dahlia went to the destruction and why come back. Like it also kind of implies that the other members of the actually, you know what? I'm gonna make that another prediction. All the members of the Everflame mansion are related to the path to destroy. Who does? Wait, who has pinkish hair? Dahlia? Because I feel like the whole point. I feel like the point of Duke Inferno doing the Everflame mansion and having his kids is that he was trying to reflect the destruction's emanators, the Lord Ravagers, and how they are supposed to be the antithesis of other paths. And I think that's probably why he wasn't a Lord Ravager, is because he wasn't the antithesis of another path. Let me see. HSR. Let me see. Right. They know who's the favorite. I feel like, okay, if it was never obvious who was the favorite, who they know who sells. Like Star Rail knows which characters are selling. They didn't put Duke Inferno here. They fucking put Dahlia. This is the mini version of Nanook and Emanators. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Is that Duke Inferno made the Everflame mansion in the image of being Nanook and the Lord Ravagers. And because he did that, he's playing God, right? He put himself in the pedestal of being Nanook. And so I feel like in that certain way, that's in itself a sin. No one else should hold that seat or pretend to hold that seat. Like, what path would he theoretically be the antithesis of, right? Because that's the point of the destruction. It was not to just destroy things, it was destroying things by the path. He didn't show, there was no indication that he showed any other connection to, deep connection to a path. What is their premium mobile? Fucking destruction. Then out of nowhere, Katarina is a Stoneheart member now. Dude, I could see it. Whoa, what if she's secretly Amber? Katarina is secretly Amber. What was it? Actually, you're right. What was the Elation was who? Elation was who?
Temper it with sulfur. Made the elation. Serenade the celebration and hush the harmony.
Since when have those on the path?
So, my guess is, forgot his name.
Since when have those?
What was his name again? The tuner, Town Warbird. No, that's the name. Akash, sorry. Akash, so Akash might actually have been a former, maybe a chord, what's it called? The chord master.
Destruction, fear, death.
So he could have been a former chord master or and then ended up under under Duke Inferno or something like that. I just watched the trailer. Both Constance and Black Swan had some interesting lines during their fight. They had a lot of interesting lines in their fight. It sounded a lot like flirting between exes than it did an actual fight. I'm not gonna lie. Beauty because he's hot. Yes, I think he's an excellent guys. Yeah. Gooning over characters, man. Essence of Star Rail. You know, they did they know their audience. They definitely figured out, hey, look, if we're gonna make it 6 weeks long, 8 weeks long, we might as well do it the right way. But yeah, I feel like so Akash probably was a former family member. He even has silver here. I wonder if he's one of the what's the angelic tribe? Robin HSR. What is Robin's Holovian? I wonder if maybe he was a former Holovian that like got rid of. We found out from Sunday that you could as a Holovian you could get rid of your halo. So it might be interesting if he was a former Holovian. Sky in Hindi. I'm telling you, I'm on to something. Wants the destruction of everything. No, I do think he does want the destruction of everything, and I think because the thing is, the Aeons represent the paths, right? That's true. That is undeniably true. But that also doesn't mean they follow the path in every which way possible. So Nanook's version of destruction is the destruction of everything, but the method of how he does it may be different from how other members of the destruction does it. For example, like Duke Inferno is mirroring Nanook, but some parts of the Annihilation Gang is just destroying for the sake of destroying for fun. And that's not necessarily what Nanook seems to be doing. His aim is to destroy the world by destroying the paths, it seems like. As the paths are the structures of the tree of existence, like maybe the branches of it. And so Nanook is trying to destroy the paths, and in essence, that is going to effectively destroy the world. In a weird way, this is actually something I want to talk about. It might be because something we found out that was in 3.7 that was really interesting. That was really weird and really interesting, in my opinion, was that we found out that the Aeons actually have roles. This sounds weird, right? That sounds like it sounds obvious, right? They're gods. Of course they have roles. They have divine domains. They have something to do. Just like how Greek gods like Poseidon keeps the sea and makes sure everything's good. But it was confirmed that I'm going to double check this because I just want to make sure. we're just going to use my own videos. Hold on, just because I don't want to do anything, find random stuff. Hold on, what is my own channel? I have to find my own channel this way. It's so weird looking at my own channel on stream with other people that are following my channel. It is a little weird now that I think about it. But there's a part here that's really interesting. That is right when she's talking to Herta. A lot of aspects of the destruction are still unknown, so what people assume is just projections of what they show people. That's exactly true. That is true. Right here. I mean, every planet. So let's see.
With causality incomplete, there is a chance Iron Tomb
Oh, whoops.
is across the stars, allowing you to travel farther down this path than anyone else is across the.
I'm trying to
We were
find
never meant to have to speak of.
Remembrance. Interesting because it's an emanator of erudition. One calculates what is to come, the other calculates what's to come before. And so the way that Herta speaks about Nanook, and this is the part that really surprised me, and I have to, is my internet being stupid? Yeah, here. Under Foley's record keeping, the past becomes memories. So by their own words, Foley affects the world. Foley has a role to play. They have to do things in order to keep the universe afloat, in essence, right? And same with Nanook. So, in a weird way, it almost seems like they actually play the roles of gods that, yeah, calculates how the future will sprout with so many outcomes. They choose to anchor one path, cutting away the crooked and fragile branches. That's something that it really stuck out to me because it's like that is a specific role that Noose plays in the universe. They decide how things go. It's not necessarily we thought that they just calculate things. No, they are the ones that choose what happens. And I think that's really important because that changes how we see the Aeons. It's not that they're following a path, their path actually does something. And so when we're thinking about other Aeons that might come up in the future or might change things, might apply things, it now comes to the point of like maybe they have an actual role to play in the universe. Like things like, for example, while Nanook wants the destruction of things, Nanook might actually have, as a path or a higher power or something, have a role to ensure that things aren't overgrowing, that things are destroyed because they need to be destroyed. And with Elation or something like that, people need to feel emotions and feel different emotions. And Elation is the aspect of how they choose who feels what emotions. I don't know. It's a very interesting thing that came to mind. But I really thought it was cool. Oh, sorry. I was just been like yapping. There's no way to. There are no way the one a character whose name have a meaning in Hindi is also a character so far that has darker toned skin. Yeah, my argument is that you can study about the Tesseract, but because you're a creature not belong to that dimension, you can only go so far. That's true. I mean, every planet is influenced by a very particular path, so you must need people who hate that path. Exactly. Now, the part that does kind of weird me out is, by definition, then, she would be Elation, right? She would be anti-Elation.
It is wise to plan ahead, Father.
And I wonder
What is our fallback?
if that's because, and that's like the puppet thing, like they do a puppet show. Sia Quanta will have a mention. Noxus Chimera name is Noxus. Like dad, like son. Next thing to end at the beginning. Nanook is probably the Aeon is literal start over button. They perhaps, though, Ravager is looking for the reason why the universe should get destroyed. I think that's a really good point because with the Aeon's purpose being that there's actual things they need to do, right? That's like now they have a role to play in the universe. So that also means the Emanators do too. And to a certain extent, we saw that with Acheron, where in a weird way, Device 9, the nihility was in essence is just nothingness. But there's things and people that retain itself through nothingness and become like a ghost-ish, like a sprite, like Tyranid. And it is kind of up to Acheron to bring those people into the nihility. And that's what it kind of feels like, is that the paths and the paths are the guiding forms of what needs to happen. The eons are basically the things that the beings that control how the universe plays around based on the paths they follow, and the emanators execute the actions that must be done. It's almost feeling like in a very real way like the gods in a lot of mythologies, where Zeus or sorry, like probably a better example. What is a better example of this? Ares is war. War has to happen. There's strife at all times. Ares is war. Aphrodite is love. It's passion. People need to have sex in order to have kids. It's the truth. And so they need to execute these actions for people, and then and it's their children that executes the little itsy parts of those actions. Within Hades, there's Deimos, who is fear, the fear in war, the fear in fighting. So that's kind of like it's very interesting. I don't know. That's kind of like it was a little side random. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm the only one that finds that super interesting, but that's like my like kind of big takeaway from 3.7 sometimes. Omen Vanguard would be really cool. We've only really seen we haven't seen an Omen Vanguard. Actually, would it be really cool to see the Omen Vanguard? If you don't know who the Omen Vanguard is, they are they're founded by a former navigator of the Astral Express that then turned to the finality, and then ended up finding out founding the Omen Vanguard. Yeah, they're basically people that they're like a faction of the finality that like worships the finality and Terminus, and they listened and interpret their words as prophecies, and they basically give the prophecies to various factions that has influenced. I would say I don't know. I know they're founders from the Trailblaze, but like the modern Trailblaze, it would be very different, wouldn't it? Maybe. 9 to Acheron wants to be the Grim Reaper. Too bad you don't have a choice. Exactly. That's kind of where I'm thinking of it. And I feel like Elation is the same way. Because Aha kind of just picks out. It's been confirmed that Aha just picks someone that they think fits the role. That think is funny, really. And to a certain extent, it might just be that, yes, Aha is like, oh my god, it'd be so funny if the Noblesse Worm is a genius. But in truth, that could play a role of like that brings a certain level of randomness to the universe, right? That things can't be as calculative as News wants it to be. That there is human emotion and stuff like that brings about. They bring in different aspects of the universe. But the way it seems, Nanook always is looking for a definitive reason that only way for the universe to move is destruction. Yeah, I mean the path thing is a bit weird, but oh yeah, any other story predictions? Any other 3.8 story predictions? I mean it's kind of hard because what can we really predict? Because it is kind of a story in the past if we think about it. Now I really think about it. So I don't know. Oh, you know what? I do think is gonna be. I think Sampo is gonna come out of nowhere. Sampo is going to show up and probably hint to Planarcadia. That's my guess. What do you think is gonna be the role in Planarcadia? We get to know more about Terminus. Ooh. Oh, actually, that is a good point. Or the finality. I think that the obviously the Stellaron Hunters show up. It's this whole entire story about Firefly. But I think I saw. I'm not sure if how many of you guys saw my video about this. It's a what is Firefly? Firefly trailer. Firefly season 1 trailer. Oh, it's this one, right? Wait, no, wrong trailer. This trailer. Is it me or this girl right here? This one right here kind of looks like the boss in 3. Let me find it. The 3.8. No, wrong one. The the boss here. Right. This one. If my internet could work. Okay, never mind, it's working.
Was a wish of the cosmos. That's
There we go. See? Wait, look at this guy. Girl. Probably a girl. Look at this girl. And does it not look like them? Right? Or am I tripping? Or it could be what's the other chick? Who's the other chick? Her. It could be her too, because of the flared out wings right here. Kind of have the same flared out thing. Is it? But I feel like the helmet fits more of the other girl, the leader. I feel like it would be more poetic if it was her, to be honest. But they did say, I would agree. I get what you mean about it being a remodeled Sam fight, which I don't know how I feel about that. I get it though. It's supposed, but they did say it was her friend in the live stream, right? Or am I just tripping? I'm fairly sure I remember them saying it's like a friend of Sam or friend of Firefly. On how you view it, Castellano was killing everyone just to ensure that Kashaf could occur, but he still killed people, both good and bad. That is destruction. Look at Firefly Sam suit. Firefly Sam suit. It would be like right. Where is Firefly? Firefly. Right here. I feel like it looks different. It looks different enough. Maybe on the live stream is a better thing. But I remember seeing that. I was like, holy shit, I think that's either her. I feel like it has to be either her or this girl. And I feel like it's her. Also, the boss should be the same from Firefly's trailer that attacks her and asks, "Who were you? And who are you? And who will you be in the future?" Oh, wait, you're actually a good point. Wait, let me check the Firefly trailer. It's been so long since I watched the Firefly trailer.
Unfortunately, I was also born a weapon.
Weapon ready yet? Start!
You don't think it's either? I will say, maybe it's just me. I am actually excited for Break to come back. I liked Break. I liked Super Break. Maybe it's just me. I really like. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make that a story prediction. Swarm Sam boss is one of Firefly's old friends. My theory is that the Calamity boss is similar to the Shadow Self from Persona 4. Meanwhile, I have 0 Break characters. Nah, I think. See, I'm thinking that when we get to the next area, they're gonna try to revive all the metas. That's like kind of a random like one, or not an actual theory here, but like I feel like their method is that since High Ceilings brought back Dot, they're bringing the Dahlia to bring back Break. They're gonna bring someone back to bring back Follow Up, even though Follow Up is okay. I don't think it's Fei Xiao is pretty much the only one keeping that meta alive, honestly. Or I feel like the IP they kind of implied that the IPC is like the follow up meta. So we'll see with that one. La Mancha, dude, La Mancha as the break DPS. Oh man, oh I would love that, but I don't know how that would work. Okay, so here's a funny thing to think about. We know that the Emanators are supposed to be like the best characters, right? Of like the individual things. Like Acheron is like really, really good and everything. I have no idea what I'm doing. Become a giant star. Sure, we're gonna run that one. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I might have just fucked this up so badly already. I'm just kind of messing around. We know that what would an emanator of La Mancha, if you okay, yeah, I should probably explain this. La Mancha, if you don't know, is the here was I trying to talk about it. La Mancha, if you don't know, is essentially the La Mancha is the leader of the Galaxy Rangers. He's a confirmed leader of the Galaxy Rangers. If you want to know about it, La Mancha HSR. It's one step removed, so required a little more connection. Maybe something about La Mancha specifically, and not just Don Quixote the guy. Yeah, what I really want from La Mancha, to be honest, and just to go back to the Emanator of the Hunt thing, if you guys want to think about it, is I'm curious about how they're going to make an Emanator of the Hunt playable, because to be honest, single target is kind of having it rough, and it would be I don't think it would work if they just make a single target character multi-target, like a hunt character multi-target, but I think it's something that has to be thought about if they're going to make an Emanator of the Hunt playable. Because Fei Xiao was really good, but the only reason why Fei Xiao was good is she just killed people fast. Anyways, about La Mancha and the Galaxy Rangers, I'm kind of hoping that La Mancha represents Don Quixote, like in a almost poetic way, in a very poetic way, that part of not just the reason for the Galaxy Rangers being as like kind of goofy and stuff as they are, and interesting characters, I want La Mancha to epitomize that, to have like to be kind of a guy that has this crazy dream of a just world, because that's what the Galaxy Rangers are all about. That they have this like crazy dream of a just world, and everyone laughed at him, kind of like the story of Don Quixote, and they thought he's crazy, and maybe he is crazy, but as he goes on down this path to create a just world, that kind of makes him follow the hunt. And as he keeps following the hunt, he actually does something and becomes a hero. I kind of want this poetic version of Don Quixote to be La Mancha. That which it kind of works, because in the story of Don Quixote did go out on the path to become a knight, to become a hero. And so the concept of, theoretically, if Don Quixote was in the Star Rail world and kept on that, and maybe kept into a bit more of a justice or vigilante justice method, that eventually that want to be a hero to bring justice to the world and be honorable and everything, eventually made them become an Emanator of the Hunt, or found the Galaxy Rangers, who are equally as kind of goofy-ish, but someone has to, in a way where it's like One Piece, where there's Luffy on the helm, who's kind of a dreamer, and then there's Zoro and Nami, who are like, hey, that's great and all, I'm all for your dream, but let's keep this thing together. That's kind of the way I want it to be pictured out in my head, at least. Maybe that was a bit like on the hopeful side, but I think that would be a very interesting story point, because it would very much play into this concept of the characters representing the Galaxy Rangers in a very interesting way. I wish the hunt characters had a 100 thoughtfulness ultimates. Like, if you're not gonna be the one tap, them might as well keep them broken. Yeah, like oh, I'm not even paying attention to this. I have no idea what I'm doing, by the way. I kind of want to run. I forgot how this works. A Don Quixote who has grown out of his delusions but still nurtures them of those around him. Yes, kind of. Actually kind of the opposite of that. A Don Quixote that went so far into their delusions that he made it a reality. That's what I kind of want La Mancha to be. That it didn't not necessarily he didn't grow out of his delusions, that he chased it so much that he made it happen. I feel like that would be so good. And I feel like that's kind of what I would love from the character. And also don't know what I'm doing. How does the Glaya strat work, by the way? I have no idea how the Glaya strat works. If anyone wants to help me with that. I have no idea how that works, but I'm going to try it. Isn't the power of Elation given what Cypher does? So that's an interesting thing, is that I don't exactly know. I wish there was one thing that could. I guess maybe it will clear up in the future. Is that what exactly is the relation in power from the Chrysos heirs to those who follow the path, right? That sure, like Aglaya right here. Aglaya represents beauty. Was there someone like Aglaya that was in the Knights of Beauty? Was there someone like Aglaya as a mirror holder, a mirror keeper? I forgot their name. Yeah. 3 boots. Is there literally just 3 red boots? Is that really how it works? Let's just do this. Perfect. Actually, we're doing that. Usual team Aglaya, Sunday, RMC, Huohua, and then eventually replace someone for Cyrene. Ooh, wait, do I need a Noxa, don't I? We're gonna so much 7th. We're gonna get a Noxa. I was supposed to sell March 7th, right? That was the thing. Was that a bad idea? No, that was a good idea. I'm fine. Okay, cool. Will be Elation. Well, SP. Oh wait, actually, wasn't Welt like a comic guy? That could work. So going back in the thing about the Dahlia, is that I don't really know what her all the paths or the factions have this thing where they represent some aspect of like a job or something like that. So like the masked fools are kind of entertainers as far as we know. Sparkle's an actress. We know Giovanni is a sorry, I just ate. Giovanni is like a video game designer, which is a bit like fourth wall breaking, which is kind of interesting because this is Planarcadia we're going to. So, and Planarcadia, I do wonder if Giovanni is going to play like a huge role in it. What was Giovanni's like? Hold on, I want to check this real quick. Where is my what did Giovanni look like? Giovanni HSR. And then one Planarcadia. Planarcadia. I hope the Pokemon Tournament-esque returns. Oh, I did love that. That was so fun. Is Giovanni's mask like that? Okay, it's not. I thought Giovanni's mask was like this one. For some reason, I thought this was Giovanni's mask. And I was like, oh, I wonder if he's like a mayor of Planarcadia. But he is a game designer, right? Isn't that like the thing? That he's like an arcade designer? Oh, he's a trader from Epsilon. But so essentially, the masked fools play the role of like entertainers. So Sampo is my guess is Sampo is going to be like, I don't know, a magician or like a dancer or something like that, or like a my thought is that he's going to be like a ringmaster for a circus. It would be kind of cool. The other one is, and with the Dahlia, with the memo keepers, it's that they are all various versions of like storytellers, especially like Cyrene. For example, Black Swan is a fortune teller. She tells your story through the fortunes. March 7th takes photos, keeping memories through photos and telling story through photos. Who else is there? I mean, Cyrene and the Trailblazer MC literally write stories. They're an author, which in a way you can say that is like almost the ultimate form in the original form of memory, of memo keeping in a sense. So I wonder what. So, but the weird thing is that Dahlia doesn't really give that at all, unless I'm like missing a reference. I know she's supposed to represent the Black Dahlia, right? Black Dahlia. It's a old, it's a famous like American actress that was murdered. Black Dahlia. Am I wrong? Yeah, Black Dahlia was. I think isn't this supposed to be the the inspiration for Elizabeth Short, right? Or am I wrong? So cool. That is the wrong info. Am I wrong? No, someone correct me if I'm. I could be very wrong. When I thought when I thought Dahlia, this is the first thing that came up. I'm very happy to be corrected. Just always 100%. If anyone knows correctly, is not inspired by the murder case. Oh, who was she inspired by? That's what came up to my brain when I first thought of it. Luckily, I didn't make a HSR. I thought she was. Or is it Constance? Constance also sounds very familiar. Constance. Oh, the movie Black Dahlia, or the Dahlia movie. That actually makes more sense. Black Dahlia. No, wait. This is a movie inspired by the thing. Which movie is it? I'm like super interested now. I love being wrong because I love learning about stuff. Mr. Rekka is so cool. I do want like that's two characters I really want is Rekka and Skrulum. Like they have such cool designs. In Genshin Lineage, Quest tackles the fact that magicians out of thievery are a pretty example. I could totally exactly. I would absolutely love Sampo to be a magician. I kind of think this is Sampo. I've seen people think other people, but like the hair kind of gives Sampo, to be honest. Like especially the short hair on the back right here. So there's a video released by a creator who covers it better than I can explain. Yeah, no, 100%. I'm happy to watch it on my own time and figure that out. But yeah, no, I 100% thought it was inspired by the Black Dahlia like murder mystery. They're probably Himiko. I know it was implied that Himiko was going to have an XP because of the. Well, I don't know because look, like this feels. Okay, forgive me. This feels very zesty. I'm not gonna lie. Like this feels like a Sampo zestiness. If I'm gonna be honest with you, that's just maybe me, but it just feels that way. So I thought the teas had Sparkle, Blade, Boot Hill. I don't think this is Boot Hill. I think it's someone else. I get why you thought it was Boot Hill. You would think it's Boot Hill. Silver Wolf, that's for sure. Dude, I thought this was Fei Xiao until I saw that the bunny ears went up. And I was like, why are they releasing another Fei Xiao? I totally thought that too, so don't worry about it. 100% I'm on the same boat. I 100% thought that too. But I do know that this is all going to be SPs for sure because uh because like Sparkle, this is supposed to be Sparkle, looks different. They're like she has different like hair designs. Um I can't tell if this is like a series of fans or it's like is a fan or a series of knives. Like I could totally see if they will with the circus like a circus ringmaster type that it's like a bunch of like juggling knives, you know, especially since Sampo had knives. But again, if this is Himiko, then I'm completely wrong. Um, who you think out of the 6 silhouettes is going to be drip market first? I feel like it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be Sparkle because they showed Sparkle in the. Actually, in fact, I feel like it's Sparkle so much. I feel like Sparkle is going to be. We're going to see Sparkle's new form as a hint. Because I feel like that would be like almost like the perfect way to introduce a world about Elation. Because other than Sampo, Sparkle really is the only playable character that we know of is that Elation, and that she is from Edo Star, which is now axed. Right? Actually, this is a good thing to watch while we're doing this. Edo Sparkle trailer. I wonder what they're gonna call all this. That female silhouette. Which one? Which female silhouette? Are you talking about Yay or this one? Or God, we can't tell. I don't know. My head still stands Sampo. I might be wrong. I might be fully wrong. Again, please no leaks here. I could just let me be wrong on the right time. But yeah, no, kind of was cooking with the Dahlia as a Stellaron here. Salmon Hunter theory. Was it? I'm cool watching the. We could see that. I'm curious about that because again, I've been behind on the theory, on like following up on theories recently. I've been so busy with work, with my grown-up stuff. Unfortunately. Let's see. Oh, I did miss this. Oh, it was today. No wonder I missed this. Low key, oh my god. I have to say, this is kind of a side note. Cat with blue hat does such a smart thing. I'm not sure if it's a girl or a guy or who they are gender wise. They do such a smart thing. Do you know how long it takes me to script and edit a video? It takes me days. It takes me days to write a script. And just sitting here and pointing out, like just writing out their thoughts on this, it's just so smart and easy to get something out. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, damn, I sometimes wish I just did this. But I do just love presenting and just talking and just like spitting out random shit to you guys. But, you know, it's a random side note. I just think about it sometimes. Himiko needs an imaginary type alt. Yeah. It would be funny if it would be kind of funny and fitting if all of the Astral Express had imaginary types, because that way it's because they're like kind of finding the end of the imaginary tree. It kind of works, you know, kind of works. Very excited to know about their element. I am very interested to know too. I'm still like, who do you guys think? Like, out of everyone, who do you guys think is going to be the first to be drip marketed? I think it's going to be Sparkle. And it has to be someone else in the Planarcadia stuff, right? I feel like it's going to be Sparkle. Maybe Silverwolf, actually. I feel like it has to be a new character. I know Sparkle. I'm like betting money at Sparkle because of this. Just like they purposely made it so obvious, and they put Sparkle in the last trailer too. And Sparkle kind of represents Elation for us at this point. So, and which is an Elation-based place. So I don't know. I would say I would be interesting to see like a new Silverwolf. But honestly, this Silverwolf looks exactly the same. Could be wind. That would be interesting. I kind of don't. I would like the characters if once they get their SP to be have a different element than what they actually have from the first one, unless it like makes sense. Like Evernight and March makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I would want someone who's connected. Well, Sparkle is kind of implied to be the one connected to the next planet, right? It's this is literally her planet, right? Is this supposed? Well, not necessarily anymore.
It doesn't matter.
Well, this is not necessarily. This was where we were supposed to go, but she is supposed to be connected to the next planet in a sense. You know, take as you will. Yeah. I don't know. I'm very interested to see it. A lot of people are thinking this is La Mancha. Curious. Curse you, politics. I know, man. Well, let's see. Let's watch this a little bit. Maybe it'll give us a little hint. God fucking damn. I hate watching this a little bit because it does look so fucking cool. Oh, it does look really cool in a sense. I do, and I wonder if if there's like a specific reasoning that Edo Star was obviously the politics stuff, but like I'm wondering if they're gonna come up with a reasoning that we're going to Planarcadia and maybe save Edo Star in the future, or how is that gonna work? Because there's a part of me that doubts that they are gonna just throw away the assets, right? Like I feel like they were not gonna just do that. Planarcadia will have a Slavic inspiration because of Sampo, specifically Finnish culture. I would actually love that. I would fucking love that. I love the idea of them going to revisiting some Eastern European inspirations. I mean, Belobog has a lot of that, just more in the name than anything else, really. I don't know too much East European myth. I would probably need to study it a little bit, to be honest with you. But I could totally see that. That would be very interesting. There is a part of me that does question one thing, is that if Edo Star or Planarcadia is a world or planet that follows the Elation, or they just accept the Elation, if that makes sense. Like there's multiple different paths, or it's just a planet but they don't necessarily all follow the Elation, if you catch my drift. May have some Austrians inspiration too? Maybe. Let's see. Obviously, this is supposed to be based on Belobog. There's like no way it's not. Kokolia is fucking right here. I wonder if this is supposed to be like obviously it's a game world, and we do know that Planarcadia had this one thing where it was supposed to be an arcade, where someone pretends to become an Aeon, compelled the cosmos to unite once again, and everyone now looks towards the other Aeons involved. The Express was crashed and departed from Planarcadia. There, Aha graced the pursuers of Elation with a reward. Join their game and become an Aeon for a minute. That is interesting. Because I wonder if at the end of this whole entire thing, if the Trailblazer kind of connects with their with the other Trailblazer in a sense, and like kind of connects with Akavelli. We do know that Aha had like a really kind of deep, interesting like love or connection with Akavelli. It's kind of a weird thing. If Planarcadia is Planar plus Arcadia, and Arcadia equals heaven, and Tengetsu, where Tengoku heaven, then it kind of lives on there. Kind of does. I do think that I don't know. There's a part of me that is wonders if they're just like holding off on Edostar and they're gonna plan for it in the future because they did say something about it, right? Hold on. What was the what was the broadcast about for God, what was it? The 3.7 broadcast where they're talking about the Elation. I'm not sure how much that actually hints now that things have changed. But I'm sure there's something to it. Let me see. Let me look through my. If you ever wanted to know how I organize my footage for editing, it looks like this. Let's see now. Exotail, Iron Tomb, what was that? Radio broadcast 3.7. Here.
Everyone,
Good evening.
we are here to bring you the latest news.
Ravager, no
Glorious.
news to make remarkable strides. Officially,
Here we go.
the ongoing Worlds Reborn initiative has officially entered its third phase, as Benzai Tengoku continues to make remarkable strides in cultural revitalization.
A hacking incident has targeted the new Eden 3 mining facility.
Okay, that's Stellar
with
Hunters.
investigators confirming the Stellar
So that kind of
Hunters
confirms
as
Stellar
the
Hunters is going to be
perpetrators.
relevant, which we kind of knew.
Let's take a closer
In a joint society,
This-
in response to this catastrophe, the planet
iron tomb infections. For star zones without medical coverage, the IPC
serious but benign data stream. Hello,
all frontline workers
society. Iron Tomb crisis has subsided. A kindling of civilization, nurtured by the Remembrance, has been lit in the cosmos.
Oh.
Dr. Veritas.
No, come on.
Jerusalem, and number 83, Madame Herta,
Reborn in
Come
collaborate on
on.
this endeavor.
Where is it?
community.
Successfully entered into its third
Okay, there you
phase,
go.
marked by the extensive restoration of cultural heritage from Benzai Tengoku.
Once confined to a canvas, the picturesque world of Benzai Tengoku has become reality for its Imagine inhabitants, thanks to the IPC's assistance. Their unique artistic creations are now being shared throughout the universe via the Interastral Network.
Okay, so that's also a really random and weird thing that I remember happening. And I was like, it's kind of odd. Benzai Tenkoku was an art piece of a world that became an actual world, which is very, very similar to Amphorius in a way. Almost very eerily similar in a very odd way, right? Amphorius is a storybook in a very honest sense. It's a fictional tale. If any one of you ever played Metaphor Free Fantasia, it was basically like that. And Benzai Tengoku is an art piece that became like real.
Madame Pearl, Secretary of the Strategic Investment Department and current Daikokuzo, announced that the upcoming stage of the World's Reborn initiative will center on artistic innovation, driving robust growth in cultural sectors.
Meanwhile, preparations for the new Lunament Festival are well underway.
Luminate.
Established by the Aeon of Elation, this time-honored event continues to attract interest from all corners.
Pearl mentioned, yes.
The Interastral Peace Corporation wishes the ceremony every success, expressing the hope that happiness and celebration will spread throughout all of Benzai Tengoku.
A short while ago, New Eden 3, an important mining facility under the umbrella of the IPC, fell victim to a hacking attack.
That's for sure Silver Wolf.
Previously ravaged in the fight against the Legion, the planet underwent reconstruction, during which massive reserves of antimatter crystal ore were identified underground.
Wait a second. Hold up. Hold the fuck up. Wasn't a mining facility a mining planet where Gwenifen's where Gwenifen's like family or original planet went to? Am I tripping? Was that right? Isn't that right?
Following a thorough assessment, the IPC approved a development plan for the mine, believing that its high concentration of imaginary
Damn.
energy will
Pearl.
provide a
Pearl might be the new. Oh, I think it might be Pearl that might be the new Stoneheart that's coming in. If she's part of the Benzai Tenkoku, which I'm sure they're changing the name of. This is gonna be retcon to shit. Pearl is probably gonna be the next Stoneheart. I didn't even think about that. She's gonna be playable then. Wait, what was her official title?
Eden 3.
The Interastral Peace Corporation.
You made the Camelot connection too? I did. Dude, that took me for a second. I was like, hold up a second. Wasn't there mining?
During which massive reserve.
Wait, okay, I have two thoughts going on. I want to remember what was Pearl's.
The picturesque world of Benzai Tengoku has become reality for its Imaginary inhabitants, thanks
Imaginary
to the
inhabitants.
IPC's
It's kind of
assistance.
crazy.
Their unique artistic creations are now being shared throughout the universe via the Interastral Network.
Madam Pearl, Secretary.
Yes, we saw. By the way, Alex, we saw the Dahlia trailer. They are very, very bold. Daiko Kuzo. I am my Japanese is not the best. I used to be honest, I used to know a bit of Japanese mythology, but my Japanese mythology is a little bit lacking nowadays. Daiko Kuzo. Daiko Kuzo is understanded as it refers to Daikokuden, the popular Japanese god of wealth, fortune, and health. Oh my god! Well, that fucking matches. That matches Pearl. That matches a. If that doesn't match a Stoneheart to the T, then they're basically calling Pearl the goddess of wealth and fortune, which, well, that's interesting. Japanese. Oh, even someone even thought about that. Quick thoughts. Let's see. No one explicitly named the destination for the express of the business. Maria Bubbles, in which Sparkle says the nameless will be important for this destination. For seeking this conversation, the moon waxes before the sakura bloom. The next planet is based on Japan. It will something to the bloom. It's a big anything that has to do with Japan usually has something to do with the moon. After several Amber eras, the World Reborn initiative recently entered into the third phase, marked extensive research. Yeah, this Night Festival as Benzai Tenkoku were attending a lunar festival established by Aha. It is very interesting to me that that Japan that they chose originally. Obviously, it's changed now. That they chose Japan as the place, as the inspiration culturally for Elation, because that's usually not like that's not usually like the immediate type of culture you would think of when it comes to like Elation. Maybe in the modern day, I'll admit, when I went to Tokyo in Japan, it is you can find Elation in every which way possible. I promise you that. I can promise you, you go anywhere in Japan, it is Elation today. So maybe modern Japan. But I mean, yes, obviously it's not going to be like that anymore. But historically, Japan has been very strict, and usually Star Rail goes by like taking a sci-fi version of ancient history or ancient cultures versus modern cultures. The modern cultures one is more like a ZZZ thing, where they'll do like for example, ZZZ is in Phylum Heights or whatever it was called, Waifei Peninsula, and that's inspired by modern Hong Kong, which is a modern city. It's not inspired by ancient China. It's inspired by modern Hong Kong. And Star Rail usually does this thing where they take ancient cultures and sci-fi the fuck out of them. So like the Law Fu doesn't look like modern China. I can tell you that for a fact. I've been to modern China. Modern China looks just like a city. It looks like an Asian city. It's a really cool Asian city, but it looks like a city. So I would imagine the original concept of Edo Star, and we can kind of see it here too, is that it's ancient Japan but sci-fied. It's all like Japan doesn't really have buildings that look like this. Maybe a couple that looks, especially not the flying fish. Waifu pavilion. Okay, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Hear background people speaking Mandarin. It's just a little. Just now, I'm not gonna be the guy that like. I don't like to correct people like in that mean way. But I thought it'd be a cool thing to show you is that in the background, that's not actually. This is such a really cool detail. They're not speaking Mandarin. They're speaking Cantonese, which is such a cool detail. And I have to give Hoyo so much credit, because in Waifei Peninsula is inspired by Hong Kong, and Hong Kong's the last bastion and city where Cantonese is really spoken openly in China, and so in the background when you hear Cantonese, it's such a really cool detail because obviously as a background I'm Cantonese, so when they're like, oh, 嚟到啊，去飲茶啊, that's like, oh my god, I hear that. I hear that in the background, like in my memories. It's just like a kind of a little off topic, but I do like really hear it when I think about it. But yeah, just Ouroboros. I don't want to correct you like that, but I just want to kind of like show it's really cool. Does ZCC lore intersect with the wider Honkai lore, or is it separate? It might be like a planet. That's as far as I can do. How many languages can you speak? Two only. I could pretend to speak more, but that's that I can speak to. I really want to see more Jewish or Christian themes. I feel like it was very interesting. Penacony had a lot of Christian themes, but they were kind of hidden in like 1940s and 50s, like Vegas and Hollywood. It was very interesting how they played into that. I kind of liked it. I love that. But I also kind of agree. I want to see a little. I feel like that's gonna play a bit more of a role if we go to, when we go to like the Gwenaifen or the Arthurian legends. They might spray in a little bit more of the Judaism and Christian and Catholic themes because of the of the Holy Grail and the King Arthur and all of that stuff. Yeah, the English voice actor for Sifu tried to speak Cantonese. I'm not gonna knock her on that. I think it's incredibly difficult to even try to speak another like a language like Cantonese is stupid hard. Like Cantonese doesn't have any like romanization for that. Just by the way, preservation will take inspiration from Judaism. It does already. Klapoth. If you guys don't know, Klapoth is this is the inspiration for Klapoth. It's the preservation. It represents the shell or husk, which represents the impure spiritual forces in Jewish mysticism, the Kabbalah. It is the representation of evil and its preservation. Isn't that a little sus, isn't it? I think there's something there that's kind of like it's a little bit interesting. Can be both negative or neutral. I might be, again, I'm not like fully into it, but I did research this a bit and I thought it was a very interesting representation of Klapoth. Drama of evil. If I would like to see if Star Rail someday takes inspiration from Hinduism for spirituality. Drama of evil. People always go with the drama of evil, with the drama of the evil. Oh, I mean, please enlighten me. I would love to learn more about this. Again, there's like Hoyo takes a lot of random inspirations from stuff. I personally would love to see Hoyo, and they kind of briefly did it with Natlan, and I don't think they did it too well. They did it okay. I would really love to see Hoyo take on African cultures. And I would really love to see them take on Native American cultures, which might be a bit of a push, considering where they how for Chinese perspective, if you're from China, it might be a bit of a tough thing to research. Understandably so for Native American cultures, but I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Some Australian themes, Aboriginal cultures would be really cool too. I really just want them to try to take on things that are outside of the already popular space, like Southeast Asian, like Vietnam and Thailand. There's such a beautiful array of mythologies and cultures and beliefs in there that I feel like are very under representative at times. Are you from Australia, Yuri? Ancient Persian culture. Yeah, like actually, yeah. You guys name out what cultures do you want to see Hoyo cover, in like future regions. I think that would be really interesting, to see what you guys personally think. I also need to finish like writing out these predictions. Planarcadia, Dahlia, while you guys are writing that. Latin American cultures, that would be sick. Swarm, Lost. I feel like if they did Latin American cultures, I would kind of want La Mancha to be a part of that, but I feel like La Mancha also would be cool as a Spain Spanish, which is kind of where it's from, though, to be honest. There, so Hoyo at least can do that. Aboriginal culture. I don't actually personally know too much about Aboriginal culture. Would love to learn about that. All I know, all I know about about the mythology and history of Australia kind of begins and ends with the war with the emus. That was about it. How Australia lost the war against birds. That was basically that's the extent of my knowledge. Which I'm sorry, but that's about where I got it. Slavic cultures would be sick, yeah. I love an exploration of Eurasia or West African culture. That would be sick too. Yeah, I would love to learn a bit more about those places. Sparkles into new form. What else? I think, but I think that's also I do think that's probably due to it being underrepresentative. I think that would probably be due to the fact that it being in our mindset, like the Aboriginal culture of Australia is not really well known, that it's something that we just don't know too much about, that it should have some representation in something. Turkish culture would be sick. Ireland, I really like Irish like mythology, like the Finns and Flynn Mickle, and wasn't it Flynn's or Finns that was in the inspiration for King Arthur? Wasn't that one of the things? I'm pretty sure that Australia is not the only country that waged war against a bird and lost. Don't quote me on that. Oh my god, I would love to know. You know what? We're gonna the next prediction is that we're gonna fight a bird. It wasn't really a war. It wasn't. You're right. You're totally right. From what I understand of it, Fisher King and Flynn's. Was it? Am I missing it? What was it? Fisher King mythology. Myth. Key part of Arthurian legend, featuring a wounded guardian of the Holy Grail whose physical ailment, often a groin or leg wound, ouch, rendered his kingdom barren and desolate, creating a wasteland. He waits in his castle for a pure knight like Percival to arrive and ask the right question. Wounds, it restores his vitality, rejuvenates land, and symbolizing a spiritual crisis. Why is it always the groin? Why is it always the groin? Why are we always injured in the groin? What is this? Hopefully we don't have a silent voice over due to the sudden change in the. Oh God, you're kind of right. Oh, that's kind of true. No, I don't think they would do that. I feel like that's why they may have had an 8-week like push, because they probably were like, we need to push it as soon as possible. Would be hard to capture because with how mixed Australia is as a country, lots of immigration. That's very true. Uh, I've already been to England. China also waged war on birds. I don't know what species, and they lost. Did we? Did my people do that? I don't remember that. I won't deny it, but I don't remember that. Wait, no, I'm very sure Flynn's is Finn's McCool is, oh God, what is the Irish mythology? Finn's, is it Flynn's or Finn's? Finn's McCool. Yeah, Theon McCool. There we go. I'm pretty sure he was. I thought he was the inspiration for King Arthur's, wasn't he? Of course. Inspired King Arthur? Question mark. The Irish counterpart or even potential source for the King Arthur legend. Yeah, I thought it was. Pigeons. I've already been to England. Irish, British, Italian, Greek, Aboriginal, Chinese, Asian. Lots of cultures. Yeah, I agree. I think they need to cover a lot more, but I feel like afterwards they're gonna go safe and go with the English one. I do hope they do a little bit more research, like Fate did with it, with a little bit more about the Fae. Because they Fate, I think, as much as I give a lot of people gave Fate shit, like Fate did cover a lot about the mythology of the English Isles over just having like King Arthur's basic stuff, which is kind of cool. But yeah, all right. I'm coming into the end of the end of the stream for me in a bit. 15, probably another 15 minutes. But let's come up with the rest of this first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 4 more. What's 4 more? 4 more predictions, guys. 4 more predictions. It would have to be very mixed. Yeah. I think they hire Japanese VAs for the upcoming patches, but I'm not sure I'm mistaking it that for what we're. Ooh, that is. I. That's a good point. What would happen to the Japanese, to the JP version for Hoyo games, rather than just culture? I want also to do a historical event like the Vietnam War. Ooh, I would, okay. I would agree. I would love to see like historical um inspired stuff, but I also feel like there's certain ones that that it would be tough to pass in the boardroom at Hoyo. It would be very tricky to do the Vietnam War. I'm not gonna lie. It would be very, very tricky. It would be very tricky. I'm not saying I wouldn't agree. I would love to see it. I would honestly love to see them do that. It would be very tricky. I would love to see the. That's why. Okay, that's a little fun fact. Is that it's is that it would be a lot of It's a lot of like some. I feel like that's why we do a lot of mythology. Is that because it's kind of like it's in the mythos space versus historical stuff. Uh, Bro, what comment am I missing? Southeast Asia would be cool, right? That was the last one. Am I missing one? It happened in China. Well, the Cryo Nation in Genshin is inspired from a Russian revamp revolution. Yeah, Anastasia, right? More about the Remembrance. Oh, actually, I think I do want to more about the Remembrance would make sense. I kind of have a sneaking suspicion about that, just to kind of take the opposite angle of it. Learn more about Elation. About not Elation. What am I still not Enigmata. It's a little random, but I feel like it would be interesting if that came up. With the SARS, yeah. And isn't the I don't like again, I haven't followed Genshin in a minute, but isn't the Cryo Archon, for those of you who play, inspired named Anastasia, right? Or am I misremembering something? Interesting. It's interesting that they're going with that. I mean, that it makes sense. But would Hoyo take the risk and do an actual historical, or at the very least some part of it in their story? Sensitive revolutions, the government will meddle even more. Okay, so little insight into Chinese entertainment industry from someone. I personally don't work in the Chinese entertainment industry. Obviously, I live in California, to be honest with you. But little insight: I have family that works in the Chinese entertainment industry, and one thing that they have expressed to me is that when it comes to the Chinese entertainment industry, they do a lot of his Chinese history based like representations, just kind of a baseline like TV show stuff. And the reason why is from what she tells me is that anything that's modern, like kind of set in the modern setting, for is has to abide by certain rules. They can't have topics that go against the government. They can't have topics that are politically sensitive. They usually have to be comedic in a certain extent, or very dramatic for in a family sense. But they can't go against the certain levels of like political setting for the world. But if your story is based in an ancient Chinese setting, then you can do that because basically you're just telling the history of China, which they take a lot of pride in. And so for what she tells me is that that's the way they kind of mask a little bit of the anything that's like kind of government or political based storytelling and sentiment and stuff like that, is that if they hide it inside of a historical setting, then the Chinese government is kind of like, okay, well, that's history. It's very interesting. But they literally study Chinese politics and shit. Yeah, I could totally see that. Someone who studied Chinese history, it's not all that. uh, yeah. Are you talking about Reverse 1999? I only played like the beginning of that. I heard it was good though. I haven't really touched it myself too much. What else? What else? It's kind of stupid, like all the history. What does that mean? Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my perspective on things. I feel like a lot of times that's why when Hoyo does Chinese based stuff, it's usually based in ancient China too. That's kind of the way that they um like to hide stuff. Never forget how the first Chinese emperor died. Jin Shi Huang, the dude, the emperor of China. I'm very sure I have some ancestors who are underneath that wall, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, see more revelations about the Remembrance. Oh, actually, that's a good point. Not just that, just kind of further that, Manish, is maybe uh a reveal revelations. I'm just gonna use your word, revelations or reveals about the pure children of Anasrava. God damn it. Anasrava. I think it'd be. I think we need to know more about the pure children of Anasrava. I feel like that's going to be a very. Oh wow, you thought the same thing as me. Exactly. I feel like we need to know. It would be interesting if there's maybe some reveal about the specifically about the current leader of the Memo Snatchers. It might be interesting. It does seem like Dahlia was maybe part of that group. Maybe Dahlia was a former Memo Snatcher. Oh, that could be interesting. Learning more about Swarm and potential their potential their Aeon, potentially their Aeon. Information about the finale. You forgot to put that in. Oh, information. Did I say that? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. No, that was about it actually. More. Let's do big reveal. Let's go on. Big. Oh my god. How do I? Big reveal about finality and Stellar Run. Sure. Let's do that. About finality. If they yeah, do you think March and Don Hung will travel with us in their new forms or their old forms? That's actually a good point. Theoretically speaking, I don't know how much of Don Hung will be able to retain specifically, because his new form comes from the core flame of the earth, which is kind of no longer around, right? It was more of a Memoria thing. I get Evernight. Evernight can just come out. I feel like that makes more sense than Don Hung getting his earth powers back. It's a very, that one is a little bit iffy. I feel like, yeah, because I feel like March definitely could probably get her old form back. March could definitely get Evernight back. That's for sure. That's almost guaranteed. Knowing Hoyo, I think there will be a ton of focus on more on Elation, like how can someone join the Mask Bulls and probably hide the info about the Remembrance to put a new Remembrance unit. Ooh. Yeah, obviously there's... Oh, did I not put anything about the Elation? That... well, I said that Sparkle's new form. Sampo is going to show up, probably hint to... I said that too. I think it could... I think you're kind of right. I think there's going to be some info dump on the Elation. I believe that as well, actually. Because if they're going to make Planarcadia in the next place, they have to have something on there. What color dragon? If we're going by the avatar, he has an earth bending. He has water bending. I feel like fire bending is next. He's going to become red. He's going to be a red dragon. Let's go with that one. Something about switching, betraying the paths and generals. Yeah, that would be because Dahlia switched paths. I don't know, maybe, but I feel like that's gonna just be more part of Dahlia's story, which I guess is kind of true. Is air so fire is left exactly? Airbending doesn't he already float, or is that just from his other things? She loses her time abilities, but keep the Evernight ones. It's hard to tell. Did she ever have time abilities? Other than, I guess when she became the god of time in, or the titan of time in Amphorius. So I guess that was time abilities. But all the jellyfish, I feel like, are Evernights. Like, I feel like that would just happen. And I wonder, as a pure child of Anasrava, does, like, Memoria just swirl around the Astral Express now? Like, forever? Like... No, and also she's technically an emanator. March 7th is a confirmed emanator, by the way. Just like fun fact. Also, are we sure that Noose gazed at us? I heard about the thing that Noose that might have not been Noose. That might have been like I did hear about that. it makes sense because I can't imagine Noose screaming out Akavelli, right, in like all caps. I do think that was like a hint to the Elation, and Elation is coming up. I do want to know what the Elation's like role is. If Honkai Star Rail universe is like Amphorius, won't certain people be the next Aeon in the next cycle? Won't that make Stellarons the core flames in the real universe? I see where you're going with there, Olivia. I do. I really do. I disagree because the Stellarons, because the core flames, there's only 12 of them, and they represent the 12 Titans. Versus the Stellarons are kind of there's hundreds, there's hundreds of thousands of them so far. So maybe. So I kind of doubt it but I do see where you're coming from, and I do think there's something to do with the Stellarons that connect paths. It's been kind of confirmed that it's not confirmed, but it's implied that because the Trailblazer has a Stellaron in them, that something could happen to them and make them a Lord Ravager. Will you be reacting to the Dahlia trailer? We actually we watched it earlier. We watched the Dahlia trailer earlier. I'm sorry. Yeah. It was I could tell you something though. They're really edging that spicy level on some of these trailers, man. They really going for it. In the Lord Ravagers intros, there was a mention about core flames. Was there? Was there a mention of core flames in the Lord Ravager? The full Firefly versus Acheron fight so badly. They didn't fight though, at all. They kind of just stopped, and Acheron was like, "Hey, if you don't want to die, tell me who you are. I could see who you are." It would be sick though. I want to see like a Firefly just straight Sam fight because I think that would be sick. On the Hoyo lap post. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I thought I saved it. Hold on. I think I saved it. Hold on. Did I save it? Was I smart? Did you guys watch the Hoyo Fair? HSR Hoyo Fair? Because there was a couple of ones that were really, really good. There was one that they made about Finon's story that was insane. I need a that was crazy good. Can't find it. Let me. Where was it? This one. We're not gonna get abundance lore until we go back to the Xianzhou. I kind of want I would love to meet an abundance emanator to see what they're like. Because on one hand, it seems like all the abundance people are kind of crazy, but I would like to meet an abundance emanator. It's like, no, I just like healing people. I feel like that would make sense, honestly. I have a theory about the end game by drawing parallels to Honkai Impact 3rd. We know March might be fully, Travelers may be Akavelli. What if Danny is also the permanence as he's collecting elements like a Pokemon patch? I think that's like a common theory. I mean, this is like the first time it's like kind of really been implied that March could be the Remembrance. I don't know in what way the March would become the Remembrance, because the Remembrance, because Fully is only risen at the end of the universe. So theoretically, it would make sense, because if the Trailblazer goes to the end of time, or to the end, and March joins them, and they remake the universe at the end. So that kind of works out, actually. No, you mention it. I've forgotten Abundance even exists. I don't think Hoyo forgot Abundance exists. I think they're just kind of leaving it to just the Xianzhou thing, which I think is stupid, because I feel like with something like the Abundance, there's definitely has to be a faction that's actually good, right? There has to be like a healing faction in the world. We get confirmation that the beauty, order, and propagation were combined into harmony. Oh, that's an interesting theory. That is an interesting theory. Order makes sense. Propagation honestly makes sense. The beauty, I don't know about that. Oh, the finality being Kiana. I don't. God, I maybe need to. Maybe I should do a live stream where I just learn, where I sit down and watch a video about learning about Honkai Impact Third lore. Because I feel like that is something I feel like I should do at some point. And as we're coming into the next patch, seems like there's gonna be a lot of SPs that I might just need to like just get like a quick refresher to everything. Becomes fully. What if Evernight becomes Mythos? Ooh. Oh. No, I don't know. I don't know. That would be very like poetic, to be honest. I'm still on a thing, and here's this. I think I might have to log off soon because, to be honest, I have to wake up early I gotta wake up early tomorrow. For a big project, but I still kind of believe in this old theory that I had about Evernight. There is a theory, or I had a theory that right here, you can see it right here. To prevent the certainty of that the erudition brought about from destroying the possibilities championed by Mythos, Mythos conjured the fog of thought and the rain of sensation to reveal to the mortals the inexplicable truth through the four agents: Morph, Screen, Riddle, and Mirage. I still think that these four aren't necessarily just like agents. I still believe these four agents are actually emanators, and each one is represented. Each one of these four represent a certain person, and I think honestly, Evernight represents Riddle because of how much things in her kit says Riddle in there. I still think that, and she uses the Rain of Sensation. That's why she uses an umbrella. So I still believe in that theory. It's just that we're not, obviously it's not going to be like, I don't think it's going to be covered anytime soon, but I do think that it is something that might be coming up. Yeah, I mean, God, if you do you guys want to see me do an HI3 like lore stream where I just fucking learn about HI3? My have some Samsara shit. Dude, I'm so tired of this Sams. Okay, I I talk about this in my Art and Forius review. We gotta stop doing the Samsara, the what's it called, the Sickler story, the meeting, you learn the character development through meeting another version of yourself. Like, I feel like this, they've done this a lot if you think about it. In Amphorius alone, there is like 5 characters that see another version of themselves talking to themselves. Like, we need to get away from that story from that story plot. It's cool, and I think it was done very well in Amphorius. But it's kind of overdone by the 4th time or the 5th time. Also, any reason why this world-bearing symbol is of the Trailblazer? Trailblaze? Oh, they mentioned it. It was kind of that the world-bearing was used to be destruction, and that in the new world, in the true world, destruction or world-bearing was replaced with destruction with Trailblaze, because Trailblaze carries the hope of the world or something like that. There's a possibility that while we think only one child of Anasrava can ascend, what if all of them recombine? That would be interesting. But they did say one, right? It would be only one pink-haired girl. And they split up into multiple. Maybe. I'm not against it. I just think I would feel like, because it's kind of implied that the one who's the head of the Memo Snatchers kind of want her sisters dead. That was implied. Like, and that also basically means she's killed her sisters already. Curtis. Also, what if March is just someone like Black Swan in the sense that she is a mimetic entity? I've said this before. I think March might be a mimetic entity. That or I've said that that it might be that March is the real body and Evernight is a mimetic entity. And then Evernight and March mixing, and Evernight being March's alternate personality is what happens is when someone turns back on their path. Source, because if it's Evernight, she was wrong about Fully. Ooh, that is. She was wrong about Fully. She was wrong about Fully. She was wrong about Fully, but also she was also just like pissed off at Fully, which I'm not sure that much that counts. She just kind of hated Fully, which is actually kind of funny. Reminds me of Sela and Viliona. I've heard that too. I just don't know much about that, and maybe that might be an HI3 stream. That might be like a future thing we're doing. I think what she said is less about telling a Fully and telling more about the personality and what the Enigmata represents. I think Mythos and the Enigmata more represent the antithesis for the Remembrance. They are the natural enemy of the Remembrance. There is no way that this should be that anyone who follows the Enigmata should be friends or close with the Remembrance follower, which is ironic because of March and March Cyrene and Evernight. But I think that's kind of the flip. I think that was the point, is more so that the Enigmata is to kind of really push this narrative that the Enigmata, that in the future with the war among Aeons, it might actually be in the mimetic aspect of the war, it might be the Remembrance followers versus the Enigmata followers, which would be kind of crazy if you think about it. That would be insane. That would be sick, though. That would be so cool. I've seen. Yeah, Enigmata is antithesis of the erudition. That's true, but it was stated that that from Evernight that Memo Keepers, that she is the natural enemy of Memo Keepers, and that as a follower, and that would basically imply, because while she is the pure and trial Anasrava, which is one of her identities, that's not necessarily it. It's more of the Enigmata part that is kind of the natural enemy of Memo Keepers, is basically what she's saying. I might be wrong about the antithesis part, but I think what she means is that she is the natural, that the Enigmata is the natural like opposing force to the Remembrance, which is ironic because they come from each other. If the direct opposite of Fully is Mythos, more like the love isn't the opposite of hate. Yeah, I would say so too. It's kind of like how I would put it in the same sense of who someone mentioned earlier they want to learn more about the morning actors. I want to learn more about the morning actors too. That the morning actors in HSR are supported by are also supported by the Elation. And they kind of think of it as a joke, and they're like, "Oh, it's the Elation is making fun of us." But I do think that the Elation, AHA, supports the morning actors because it's the opposite side of the coin, and I think Mythos and Fully is the same aspect. They're the two opposite sides of the coin, but it's the same coin. Very like Bella, is like completely right. I think that's exactly what it is. Mythos protects Fully's garden like Evernight protects March. I don't think so, because it would be, because I feel like because of what Mythos represents. Because Mythos protecting Fully's garden, because Mythos is is trying to change memories, which is kind of against keeping them and preserving them. I've heard the theory about Alcavelli becoming Nanook. I'm very interested in that. I don't think I'm iffy about it because of there's an image. I need to find it. I can't find it from the simulated universe of a kid from Adlevin who looks a lot like a kid version of Nanook that has an Astral Express ticket. Might be an interesting thing. If Evernight is true, I've just really realized how much the preservation has to do with the concept of obsession. Yes. That's one thing that I had an old theory that the Stone Hearts represent classic movie villain tropes. But you might be right about the obsession thing. It might actually be obsession instead. If Evernight is true, what about erudition overlaps with remembrance? Engulf the former. I feel like that one took me for a loop. That the erudition and the remembrance were so close in concept that remembrance could have overlapped the erudition. That's such a I mean, it makes sense, right? Like wisdom erudition comes from memories in a certain sense, but I feel like the way it's represented in Star Rail is so different from each other. But I guess in as a concept, you can't really learn anything unless you remember it, right? And in a way, I really want Welt to do something like, bro, you had exactly, dude. I want Welt to do something so badly. So in a previous stream, I had this thing. I was like, oh, I want to find the strongest character in Star Rail, and by just ping them one against the other. And then a lot of you guys, I'm not sure specifically you guys, maybe another chat that was there, was like, nah, Welt's the strongest character in Star Rail. And like a part of the reason why I want to learn more about Honkai Impact 3rd is like, is that true? Is Welt really the strongest person in all of Star Rail outside that's playable, like outside of the non-playable like Lord Ravagers and stuff? So I'm like, I can understand him not doing enough yet because like maybe his power is so much that it like destroys the planet or some shit. But you know, Diamond is an auto XP. Ooh, I'm gonna keep that in the books. That might be a very interesting one. Like order is harmony in war, so how would that work with erudition or remembrance? Yeah, I thought Oswaldo was auto. It's not necessarily confirmed. Oswaldo might be auto. Again, I don't know too much about auto, but my original thought was Oswaldo was the Lord Void Rabbit Void. I forgot his name. Was the auto. That's kind of where I was thinking about it because there's no other record of him being a nameless for anything. Was unless erudition was born from remembrance, it's not. From what erudition was born from fucking Xandar. Xandar's brain. Void Archives, thank you so much. Well, it might not be the strongest, but definitely among one of the strongest. Yeah. Amber, the Stoneheart, is definitely an XP of Otto's secretary. Amber? Oh, that might be interesting. I guess I have no idea who that is. But by name alone, that's actually pretty cool. Okay. Your boy has to go to sleep soon. He has his big boy job to go do. But I'll see you guys later. I'll probably see you guys after. I'll probably have to be after Christmas. So before that, Merry Christmas to y'all. Have a Happy New Year. I'll see you guys after Christmas. I'm planning to do a stream where before 4.0 comes out, we kind of tier list and have a good time just listening to and rating the boss music of Honkai Star Rail before 4.0 comes out and kind of see where it go, see which one we like the most. So look forward to that. It'll probably be sometime in January, probably mid-January. But with that being said, peace. Well, what was I doing? Peace.